So, the other day BeamNG released an update which added a new bus to the game based on the Gavril MD-series, which I think means that I have to try to see if I can beat BeamNG at their own game. Now, I'm not going to be competing in level of detail because there's zero chance I can compete there, but I am going to be competing in passenger capacity and the two most important factors, speed and power. So I'm actually going to have to find a bus body. I think I've probably still got this filtered from making the fake Mustang. Good, I've not. What's the bus body called? It's really far back, I think. I was too far back. While scrolling through some bodies, I did find things which are inspiring new strains of autism that I could develop, but I'm going to avoid those for today and just stick with the bus, as the title says. Now, the debate whether I use a single-decker bus, like the one in BeamNG, or if I do a double-decker. Double-decker is double the people, so I already win at passenger capacity. Now I'm going to need to choose a panel material, which I'm going to go with probably steel. A ladder chassis. Galvanized steel. Galvanized steel even. Fucking rotocisms. Engine placement. Now I could be serious and put it in the front, or I could be funny and put it in the back. There's just a sports bus, so I'm going to put it in the back like a Porsche. And I'm going to make the suspension quite good in the front, because I want it to be sporty, like the 8.6. Oh wait, I can't put bad suspension in the back. Huh. Same suspension in the back. Not much option here. Although I could make it a 3-decker. A bus from Harry Potter, but I'm probably not. I could. It's quite tempting. Just some funny body morphs that I am going to make. The sports bus needs to be light, so I will be making it a 2-floor bus. Now, being a sports bus, it should probably have a little bit of fender flareage to it. That's a lot too much fender flareage. I can't really find a happy medium. That's good. And that also looks pretty good. I can stretch that out. I can elongate the other side, but it looks kind of weird on the inside, so I'm going to leave it as is. And also, that's too much again. Thought I was increasing something else. That's what I thought I was doing. Now, that opens up a possibility to put big-ass tires on it, but I don't think I want to do that, so I'm just going to stick with something that's a bit more sane. Do I do front or do round, or do I do square? Aero. Intake. Now, I can do an intake like that, so I'm going to stick it as that. For aerodynamics, flomp. Moving on to the paint. The current paint is just red. It's not bad, but it should be a little bit less flaky because the metal flake adds weight, and of course this is the sports bus, which is now making me think about going back and making it fiberglass, but too late for that now, so I'm going to just reduce the flake on it. It's red enough, looks like a London bus, so... Oh shit, I'm making a school bus, like an American style one, so it has to be yellow. It's very piss coloured. Yeah, that looks to be the right colour. It just isn't. That looks good. His default name is Gazania. Interesting name. Do I paint the wheels, or do I save that for later? I'll save it for later. Now that I'm working on fixtures, I think it's time to start off by saying I am on the beta version of this game, so I have a few new headlights that weren't previously in the game. Now, I'm not sure if they'd work well on a bus, but I could add F-150 headlights to it, or another pickup that's only sold in America. Or Defender lights, even. Sure, are those Corvette lights? I think I'm just going with the F-150 lights because it's heavy duty. Do I do actually better idea? Need aerodynamics. So I'm going to add pop-up headlights. Although that's going to take me like 20 minutes to do, so oh wait, shit, no it isn't. It's going to take me 2 seconds to do. If the fixture would appear for me. Go up. Doesn't really want to go up. Fucking hell. He's seen things. I might not do that, but at the same time, it's making me laugh quite a lot. Pop-up fog light I'll add, so just stay down for now, and hopefully never have to come up. I'll add some American pickup style, American truck style headlights, like some big ones. I also mentioned that I was going to add a vent there because it's sports, so just add that. He looks weirdly like a character from Ice Age, and I don't know why. And he probably doesn't even look like a character from Ice Age, I'm just saying that. So, yeah. I need a grill. Is that like twin grills? He's definitely seen things. Oh god, yeah, that just looks like trimmers now. I'll keep it on because it's just funny at this point. I'm also going to add some non-standard indicators. I'm going to have them... No, I don't know how... Fender indicators. Yes, that's what I want. That is perfect. Fender indicators for the bus from 1987. This really isn't going well. This is American bus. I'm going to have to put an American plate on it. If I can find it. So I'm going to put... the only plate that would fit is the plate that would only fit... Fuck, I can't words today. The only plate that would make sense on it is the plate from the state that this would most likely be found in, which is either going to be Florida or Texas. But I think Florida's a little bit more insane, so I'm going to put a Florida plate on it. Acting as if I know America, I really don't. Add sports accents could do. If I could find them. Which would help if I was looking for the right section. It's a bit too far out. I'll move it back. I can't. So I'm just going to put in something different. Ooh. He's got the sports. It looks kind of like a Pontiac. Or a Dodge front. That's what it looks like. It looks like a Dodge Ram from like the 1990s or 80s. Or I've got that horribly wrong. I don't know American cars well. Probably should also add some wing mirrors because it's quite important to see behind where you're going. And I'm noticing I've got a few new ones. So HGV double mirrors would make sense if this was a HGV. However, it is a sports vehicle. So I'm going to put some funky like Mark I Skyline inspired fender mount mirrors on this, which is going to be very visible from there. I will admit. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing at this point. This has been a few minutes and it's already completely gone to shit. So enjoy. Should probably also have some lights up there just so you can make sure that it's coming, because you're gonna kind of want to run from this because it is not the prettiest car ever made. And I have to do like a Mercedes front end up there just for the shits and gigs, because why the hell wouldn't you? I mean, it doesn't look like it, it just looks odd. Actually, it looks like a Polonaise, which is the opposite of a Mercedes. I mean, it's rear wheel drive, and that's about as far as the similarities go with those two cars. I'm going to see if I've got a Poland plate though, just to really tie off the look. You know what? Armenia may as well go on that. I've got Polonaise up there, and I got American thing down there, and I got Skyline there, and I got British bus there, and it's very yellow. Another thing that is quite distinctive about American school buses is that they always have like basically like the Sprinter Terreno livery on the side of it. I mean, I know it's not called that, but it looks absolutely nothing like that, so I'm going to call it that, because I do not know what I'm talking about at all. I'm going to call it the Fujiwara Kid delivery. Or maybe I just should be banned from having ideas. And not bother... Oh, shit, that's... Well, we can ignore that, because American buses don't have that bit either, so, it's not an issue. I hope. Now that I'm actually in BeamNG and sorted the application volume so that the volume of the bus isn't muting me, this is what we've got. It is not exported all the textures very well. The Polonaise front end is preserved up there, and there's no textures there. Although this looks a lot better in Beam than it did in Automation, and the plate is... I don't know what it's doing. It's just doing its own thing. I'm going to leave it be. So, I have noticed a few issues with this bus. One big one being when you go to steer, that tends to happen, and it tends to break the steering. So, I mean, it could be a slight issue, but a later revision could potentially fix it. So, for now, it's recommended to drive in straight lines at all times. And another thing is, all of the lights work. Though unfortunately those don't go down, so it's permanently got two tumours on the bonnet. But overall, I mean, yeah, it's a bus. It's got mirrors. It had text on the side, and now it doesn't because it didn't quite export correctly, but does its job, I hope. The first test that I have lined up for these two buses is the suspension test. I'm only really going to do 2 tests of these because I've not got a huge amount of time, but the way that this will be judged is by how much the camera moves while driving on this very rough street. One that moves the least, or at least visually moves the least to my eyes, wins. And I almost stole the bus. And if you ignore that I just broke the steering again, or more accurately, the road broke the steering, it's not my fault, it's the road's fault, it's not the bus's fault or anybody's fault really, it's just poor maintenance on the road. It's happened again. I'm starting to think that the steering might be quite a serious issue. The challenger is the Gavril MD-series. I should really turn down my headphone volume before spawning cars from the sky. That was not quiet. Now, this one's a lot more detailed on the inside, I will admit, but is it smoother? I think that's a no. Yeah, it's definitely a rougher ride. I'd rather be in the sports bus. That way my spine would not be through my skull. However, unlike the sports bus, this actually still can steer, which is just a little shortcoming of the sports bus. Now, unfortunately, BeamNG, for some reason, wasn't allowing me to actually start the drag race. It was just freezing up the game. So instead, I'm going to just make up a slightly less technical race, where simply I'm going to see which bus can reach the highest top speed. So, starting with the sports bus. And the steering went again. So, restarting with the sports bus. Decent acceleration. Definitely loud noise from the exhaust. It actually sounds like a classic Beetle, I think. Now it is starting to sway a little bit, which is, I mean, to be expected for a vehicle of this size. There's nothing wrong with the sports bus, it's just an issue with the only the wind. You can see a top speed of 87 miles an hour, 89, 91. 102 miles an hour. That was an awfully bad collision there. But 102 miles an hour is the time to beat in the MD series. I don't think it can do it. So the MD series, straight up, is quite a lot quieter. I'm actually going to get in the bus so I can hear my own voice. But starting in 3, 2, 1... It's not so quick. Although the acceleration is a lot more stable than the sports bus, as much as I hate to accept, but can't argue with stable acceleration. Something tells me though that the Gavril MD series won't be nearly as quick as the sports bus on account of it not having the center wing. And as we can see, we've topped up at a speed of 68 miles per gallon. I know it says 69 there, but the airspeed's 68, which is the accurate one. Whoops. Now, I don't know, just crash it or something. So we have beaten the BeamNG developers at making a bus. Isn't that an achievement? Although this one might have fared slightly worse, or slightly better in the collision, depending on how you view it, because this one has releasable emergency hatches, which the sports bus doesn't have for the sake of weight savings, which is not sure how we're going to get that bit past regulations, which is a question for another day.